People don't want to take time and cook food. Everybody wants everything to be quick and easy. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, whether you like it or not, everything cannot be quick and easy. Some things require time and care to be done right. Hey everybody, recently some of my family came to visit me in Japan, just a few of them, but we had a great time. And one of the topics of conversation was often food. And we just discussed some of the differences between the diet or the typical diet in Japan versus what you would normally find in the United States. So this could be kind of interesting for you. There are a lot of big, rotund, bloated people in the United States, and a lot of it comes really down to the diet. Maybe if you're Australian, if you're British as well, a lot of Mexicans. So if you're Mexican, you're looking at this. There are a lot of big old people in Mexico, places like that. A lot of it comes down to what people are eating, and then of course you combine that with the fact that there's not enough physical activity to burn off all those calories. But let's just talk about that for a moment here. So this is Mark Johnson. I am the founder of Bounce Pet, bringing you ideas for a fit and flourishing future. Of course, I'm the youngest son of Bill Johnson, and I appreciate you being here, subscribing. Go ahead, subscribe now if you are not subscribed. You should be a subscriber now. Go ahead, jump in and do it. Now, with that said, this is all impromptu. There's no script, there's nothing prepared. I just wanted to speak to you on a human level and just talk about maybe some of the things that you could be eating that are kind of sabotaging your health, especially for a lot of you guys. Of course, I'm big into fitness and I'm always pushing it and telling you guys to exercise, reminding you guys to exercise and just do something to keep your activity levels up. But one of the things that I also tell you is that you can't outwork a poor diet. And people still try to do this. So the first thing I want to say for you guys out there and you ladies, when I say guys, I'm talking about gentlemen and women. But if you're, let's just say you're a bit rotund, you're bigger than you want to be, admit it, you've got some extra pounds that you like to get rid of. And let's just say that you are working at it, like you're putting in the effort to maybe go to the gym, do some workouts, do some cardio, lift some weights, like you're putting in effort, but you're not seeing the results that you want to see in terms of actually losing some of that fat. Uh, Number one, let me just say this. I commend you for doing something, okay? Because first thing is this: movement always looks better than no movement. So if you're moving, you're looking good. Let me repeat: if you're moving, you're looking good. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care how big you are. If you're moving and you're trying to do something about it, you're looking good. So keep that up. But if you're not really losing some of the fat, no matter how much you seem to work out, I think usually it's because you haven't made the proper adjustments to how you're eating. So it's really a more of a diet problem than anything, because if you're putting effort in the gym, of course you're going to be burning calories. But if you're not really losing the fat, it means that even with all of the effort that you're putting in, you're still consuming too many calories. And so this comes back to actually what your diet is. Because I don't care, people can give you all the complicated formulas that they want to give you to, for losing weight and everything. But it really comes down to the amount of calories that you consume on a daily basis versus how many calories you are burning on a daily basis. That, when you boil everything down, that's what it is. Okay. And what it could be is that you simply are still consuming too many calories despite all of your efforts in the gym, or despite all of your efforts take jogging or whatever you're doing. You're still just consuming too many doggone calories. Okay. So I mentioned that my family came from Japan, and one of the things that we talked about was just some of the differences in diet. I want you guys to come to Japan, and I want you to join me at the 3-day VIP focus and follow through retreat, because one of the things that you will notice is if you look at the local population here in Japan, you'll see that typically, maybe if you're, like I said, if you're from the UK or United States or Australia or something like that, you'll notice that the average person here is much more, how do we say, is slenderer than the average person where you come from, and it's by a long shot. Like it's the difference is huge. And I always say, whenever I go back to the United States to visit my family, one of the things that I have to acclimate myself to again is how big people are. Because number one, I'm not a big guy, so you can probably see on camera, I'm not tall, I'm not bulky at all. I'm a small man in terms of just physical size. So whenever I go back to the United States, I really have to acclimate myself again to how large people are, because it's not only I'm not talking about height. It's people are swole, and not in a good way. I'm talking about people are just fat, and it's such a large percentage of the people. And it always amazes me, perhaps because I've lived in Japan such a long time, but it always amazes me how it's so normalized. It seems like people don't, almost as if people have no idea how big they really are, because it's just so normal. And what I want to say to you guys who are in this situation where you're bigger than you want to be, okay, admittedly, it, you're bigger than you want to be. Look at your diet. I'm going to tell you right now, keep working out. You're like, that's right. Like, you're not doing anything wrong by doing that. Keep that up, okay? But if you can't seem to shed that fat, look at your diet, okay? When you come to Japan, I don't eat McDonald's. Maybe like once or twice a year. My kids will force me in there, and I'll get something. But generally, I don't eat like fast food, McDonald's stuff, things like that. It's just not my thing. But I can tell you that Japan doesn't have anything like those ridiculous supersized meals, and the giant, I don't know how big those drinks were, the supersized drinks. It looks like they were like 2 liters or something. Like, but they never had anything like that in Japan. They just, and when you go to the United States, you see the portion sizes are just out of control. I don't want to pick on McDonald's. I want to make a broader point about the portion sizes. The portion sizes, when go to some of these Western countries, UK, United States, Australia, whatever and whatnot, the portion sizes are out of control. It's just ridiculous. But people have normalized the portion sizes, and so they don't realize how big they are. But if you just think about it, just use your common sense. If you have all of these giant, overweight people walking around everywhere, then it tells you that there's something going on with people just consuming too many doggone calories. Okay, and so it should be obvious to everyone that the portions are much too large, but it's not, because people keep eating them. Now, portion size is one thing. Another thing is this, which I think is really, even more so than portion size, is really the root of the problem, is that people don't want to take time and cook food. Everybody wants everything to be quick and easy. Okay? And I'm here to tell you, whether you like it or not, everything cannot be quick and easy. Some things require time and care to be done right. I don't know another way to put it to you. Some things require time and care. Cooking is one of those things. If you are someone who goes to the grocery store and you're buying a lot of prepackaged, uh, pre-cooked meals, and that's your idea of eating, like something that you can take home, take out of the package, plop into a microwave, and be eating in 5 minutes, or something that maybe there is a little bit of prep time, but basically, it comes in a box, you take it home, 10 minutes prep, and you're eating something. I'm just here to tell you, eating like that all the time is going to produce that big body that you have. And the reason is because you're not eating you're not eating real food. That stuff is ultra processed, and it doesn't have the nutrients, it doesn't have the fiber and everything else that you need to sate your appetite. What happens is that you keep eating and eating, and like you have to eat like a mountain of it in order to feel satisfied. The truth of the matter is, what you should be doing is getting a whole bunch of vegetables, fruits in your diet. Get like things that have fiber into your diet so that you feel fuller. Okay, get real food, like actual food. Go to the grocery store. Keep your behind in the produce and the fresh meat section. That keep your behind there. Don't be wandering around in the middle of the grocery store in the aisles, because that's where all of the things that are going to keep you fat and unhealthy are located. Okay, and I'm speaking frankly to you because somebody needs to tell you this frankly. If you're overweight, if you've got too much fat and you really want to lose it, you've got to get on top of what you're eating. You're going to have to spend more time preparing meals. I don't know how to get around this. Everything cannot be quick and easy. Okay, so like you've got to pay the cost. Got to pay the cost to be the boss. All right. So if you want to be the best version of yourself, go buy fresh foods. Take more time to prepare meals. I always tell people, eat a lot of salad. You should be eating salad like it's going out of style, because eating salad all the time is going to give you a lot of fiber. It's going to help to sate your appetite. That's going to prevent you from overeating so much. Now, when you go and buy, meat and fish and all that stuff, like buy fresh fish and meat and like buy it fresh, chicken fresh. Buy fresh food. That's all I'm telling you to do. Get out of the fast food joints. Stay away from the prepackaged meals, all that fried stuff that you've been eating. Okay? That's why you're having a problem losing weight despite all of your efforts at the gym. So, these are some of the things that we discussed when my family was here. Again, the difference in dietary lifestyle. Really, if you ever come to Japan, if you've never been and then you come, I think you'll be quite shocked. You will definitely notice that, especially for like you Americans. Let me tell you something. You will notice that the portion sizes are much smaller. Okay, and for good reason, because most Americans are eating something like 25% or so more calories than their bodies actually need every day. Okay, so think about that, 25% more than what you need every day. And you're doing that every day, and you're doing it week after week, month after month, year after year, for decades. Well, it's no wonder you're overweight, because you're consuming 25% more calories than you need all the time, and you're not working it off. This is the other problem. A lot of people, now I'm talking to you assuming that you actually are working out, but a lot of people aren't working out at all. They really aren't doing anything. And maybe they'll take a walk and they call that exercise, but walking is not real. Walking is the spirit of exercise, is not just walking. Walking is your default way of going from point A to point B. That's what walking is. Now, I'm not going to tell you not to walk, and you should be walking. And walking is great for your health because you get out in the sunlight, get some natural, which is a natural source of vitamin D. You need that, and that's great. But walking is not actually exercise. Exercise is supposed to be challenging. Okay, so when you exercise, make sure that you're doing something that's challenging so that you burn some of those calories that you've been taking in. And then make sure, of course, that you eat more healthy foods. Stay away from the ultra processed, all the pastries and all this stuff that you see people eating. You've got to say no to that stuff more often. One of the things that you can do, if you're somebody who likes to snack, and you're somebody who likes to snack on like chips and Doritos and all that kind of stuff, replace that with fruit. Go to the store, okay? Go to the fruit section. They have a fresh produce section, I'm pretty sure. And I want you to start buying some fruit. And if you have a 9 to 5 and you're working every day, instead of going to, you know, into that bag of Doritos when you want to snack at your job, take a little, I don't know, a little Tupperware container, Tupperware, something like that. Put some fruit in there, put it on your desk. When you get a craving for a snack, you put your hand, you know, into that little dish that you have with the fruit, grab a piece of fruit and eat the fruit. Do not don't resort to just like potato chips and candy bars and all this other stuff. Look, if you're gonna snack anyway, it may as well be fruit, and that's gonna also change your palate. Like your palate is going to actually start to normalize eating fruit more often by doing that. And you'll stop having cravings for so much junk food all the time. I'm telling you, this works. It's easier than you realize. If you just start doing it, it's easier than you realize. You will stop craving junk food so often when you start just replacing it with fruit more often. Okay, so let your treat be fresh fruit instead of the candy bars, the chips, the pastries, all that stuff. Just give it a try. I'm telling you, it actually works. Okay, now I just wanted to share that message with you today. Of course, as I said, this is impromptu, no script, no nothing, nothing prepared. Just sharing raw, frank thoughts with you. Because sometimes you need this. Sometimes you need somebody to just talk to you frankly, give you the truth as they see it. And these are just some of the observations that I've seen as someone who's lived both in Japan and in the United States. And I can see clearly the differences in dietary habits, also how people exercise. And so the differences are striking. And I just wanted to share some of that with you today. So, with all that said, I hope that this helped you just a little bit. Look, you can shed some of those pounds, okay? And not necessarily pounds, it's really the fat that we're talking about, okay? Because if you're getting stronger and you're building muscle, muscle weighs more than fat, so you can actually gain weight by building muscle, which is a good thing. But you want to lose that fat, right? And if you want to lose that fat, look at your diet. What are you eating? What are you drinking? Get rid of all the too much sugar all the time, too much fat all the time, too many calories too much at a time. You've got to cut down on that stuff, okay? That's my message for you today. I want you to come and see me in Japan at the 3-day VIP Focus and Follow Through Retreat, okay? Now, with that said, I'm going to sign out. I want you to take care, take that with you. Have a great, great week.